Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah! Yes!
Here we are.
Here we go. Deep River Brewing Company. Super excited. This is the third episode of Drinking Bros Sports.
Yeah, man, number
Tailgate.
3.
Tailgate Legend Show. I'm pumped to be here. Chef Puhak.
Super pumped.
I know you're pumped to be here, and I can smell you
Yeah.
guys. This is the show where we tailgate with legends. Today we're tailgating with what's the game we're tailgating for?
It's I'm pretty caught up in the legend right
You know what?
next
I don't
to me,
even
man.
care about the game.
Yeah.
It's Kansas City and New Orleans, but
Yeah,
today we are
Kansas City
with
and New Orleans.
James, the Bonecrusher Smith.
The one and only. Everybody's clapping.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that makes you stupid. I'm kidding. You're not stupid. That
Yeah,
was
you are.
mean.
No, you are.
But James Bonecrusher Smith, heavyweight champion of the world, first man to go the full distance with Mike Tyson, also the first champion with a college degree.
Shaw University in
Shaw
Raleigh, in North Carolina.
University.
Raleigh represent.
Raleigh, where you at? Where you at?
That's amazing,
Raleigh,
sir.
man. We're excited to be here with you, man. Wow.
I'm excited too.
A real legend in our midst, Joe. A real legend.
I mean,
here.
I get pretty. Football's cool, but I mean, I really like fighting.
I know. I'm
boxing
excited
and
about
stuff.
this Kansas City New Orleans game, but I am more excited to be sitting here with Bonecrusher. This is going to be a crushing show. Joe, what are you cooking today for this tailgate? Let's get that out of the way so we can get talking.
So, every time that we get down with a legend, we've got some food highlights. And I've got some titles, some food here, and I would like to let Bonecrusher know that a item on the menu is named after him. We have the Bonecrusher Beef Bangers,
Oh,
Yeah.
because you're a hell of a banger yourself. And it's going to be served with smoked lemon garlic aioli. So basically, cheese stuffed meatballs and with a really good aioli. So, and named after the legend himself. In addition to that, we are going to do some Cajun food because we're also doing the Cajun cuisine
Yeah,
from
New Orleans.
that region.
New Orleans,
yeah.
yep. Nala.
Nala. So that dish is going to be some Cajun crab dip with the basic Cajun flavors and good lump crab meat because Noel, our producer, is really bougie when it comes to crab. So I got to get the good shit for him.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
This is going to be a good show. I can
welcome.
smell the food cooking. I'm really excited. I'm going to jump right into it, Bonecrusher. Listen, your strategy for this podcast tonight, are you coming out swinging hard? Are you playing defense? What do you want to do tonight?
well, I'm going to be as nice and as good as I possibly can be.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're ready for otherwise, right?
Well, I mean, you know,
Are you still following boxing? Do you still watch boxing?
every now and then.
Every now and then. What is your favorite part of the match? Do you like the lightweights, the middleweights, or are you a big fan of the heavyweights?
I'm a heavyweight. I follow the heavyweights.
Yeah.
And I watched Mike Tyson a couple weeks ago.
What did you
Yeah,
feel
how'd
about
you
that?
feel
How did you
about
feel
that?
about
I
that?
thought he looked real good for an old man.
Man.
Hey, Mike, I think he just called you old.
Oh man, what do you think? What do you think about boxing today with all the celebrities getting involved? Do you think it's good for the sport? Do you like it, or you like
Well,
seeing
you
where
know,
it's
the
going?
kind of money those guys are making, I just wish I was about 20 years younger.
I hear that.
I'd be making a comeback.
Yeah, you'd be ready, right?
And I think some of these guys I can take today in my walker.
Oh no! What do you think about the money that Mayweather and McGregor made? And that was crazy.
That's crazy money. I know why they call him money.
But you know what? He is a great boxer. And you were talking earlier. I mean, he was raised a boxer from birth.
Well,
almost.
you know, his father fought Sugar Ray Leonard and went the distance with Ray Leonard. And he's probably pound for pound, Ray Leonard probably the best fighter of all time. But anyway, he learned as a child, as a kid, how to fight. He just watching his dad fight and train. And he learned as a very young age. And yeah, he knows how to do it.
What do you think when you hear the little guys when they get out there? Because Floyd Mayweather, he's a little guy, right? Obviously not a heavyweight. When you hear them talking, what back in your heyday, did you laugh at those kind of things when you're like, man, come on, you guys are the little guys?
I didn't laugh at people. I don't think we should laugh at people because
Sure.
everybody is good and special and the champion in their own right.
Their own right. Well,
Yeah.
a very humble man, and we're excited to have you here today. Joe, What do you got going on over there on this fine tailgating afternoon?
I'm just getting started right now, but Deep River Brewing, good stuff. You guys are here, you already know that. They gave me some 4042 chocolate stout, and I've reduced that down about by half, and I put some Uncle Yammy's in there, which is a North Carolina deliciousness if you guys ever want to try it. I'm going to reduce that down some more, and I'm going to serve them with the bangers. That's going to be the bonus sauce. Originally I said lemon garlic aioli, but we're going to do something to pay homage to Deep River, because Deep River was nice enough to host us, and their stuff is pretty damn delicious.
Love it. I love it.
We'll get started on the other stuff a little bit later.
What do you got going on these days? What are you into these days?
Well, you know, a few years ago in 2004, I started Champion for Kids. It's a national mentoring program, and we visit schools and community centers, and we talk to kids and encourage them to make good decisions. You know, I'm an author too. I wrote a book called Mad, Make a Decision.
I like that.
And then in 2016, I started the Boxing Legends Hall of Fame, and recently we kicked in a mobile museum project. We're raising money, like I said, to get an RV, and we're gonna wrap it, and we're gonna travel all over North Carolina, all over South Carolina, and we're gonna encourage kids to make good decisions, and then if we locate a kid that we watch him work out, we think he has some potential, we'll try to encourage him, and we'll try to work with him, and we'll try to match him up with the right promoter and see what he can do. We're going to give people a chance to be all they can be.
And Make a Decision in that book. How did you come up with that title, Make a Decision?
Well, you know, I started praying. I started praying, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you how I came up with the idea of the word mad, make a decision, because, you know, I wanted to write a book, and I didn't know anything about writing a book, and I started praying. I asked God to give me direction. He says, now everybody you meet get mad.
That's true.
Everybody get mad. And what they do after they get mad is a decision. They can do the right thing, but most people don't even think about it, and they do the wrong thing. People get shot, they get killed, they get cut. I mean, different things that they do, and it's all about making the decision. And I started talking to God, and I said, God, now I don't know anything about writing a book, and He's laid in my spirit.
So some of them are back there.
I'm getting mad.
No, don't get mad. So, when you were younger, what was the decision that you were faced with when you were at a young age, and you were faced with a decision?
Would you, and you know the answer already, but ladies and gentlemen, would you like to know how I became heavyweight champion of the world?
I want to hear it. Yes, sir.
Would you like, do you got a moment?
Yeah.
It might take more than a moment, but it won't take too long, but it's very interesting. But when I was about 6 years old, I was a little crybaby. Can you believe Bonecrusher was ever little or a crybaby? End up fighting 10 world champions, and I fought 3 of them twice. Larry Holmes twice, Mike Weaver twice, and Tim Witherspoon twice. But when I was about 6 years old, how old are you, young lady? Well, I was smaller than you. I was 6. I had convinced myself I was not going to school, but nobody told my mom and daddy, so they had me dropped off my first grade teacher's class for my older brother and older sister, and I was kicking and screaming, and I was telling my teacher, I don't like you, I don't want to be here, and I'm going home to my mom and daddy, so I started running from her. And if I'd have known that later in my life I was going to have 3 knee replacements, 1 on the left, and 2 on the right.
You stop running.
A broken bone in the back, brain surgery, and arthritis, I'd have walked some of them times I ran. And once my teacher caught me, she started whipping me with a fan belt. Y'all know what a fan belt is? It makes a car run.
Oh my gosh.
It made me run too.
I kind of feel like she might have been able to take
I got mad
Tyson.
with my teacher. I got mad with my teacher, and the word mad started formulating in my brain. She sent a note by me to my mama, and the rule was, if I got a whooping at school, I was going to get at least one more when I got home. Odell, my mama said, go get me a switch. And I was smart even back then. I got the smallest switch I could find. Mama broke that switch. She looked at me and said, I said, go get me a switch. So I had to go back in the woods and get a bigger switch. Now turn around, Odell. As she would hit me with that switch, she was pronouncing words. Didn't I tell you if you got a whooping at school, I was going to whoop you too? I got mad with my mama. Daddy came home. Daddy whooped me with his belt, and I got mad with Daddy. So at age 6, I made 2 decisions. One, I was going to school. And 2, if I ever got grown, I was going to whoop some people. I wanted other people to understand and feel the feelings that I had when I was a child. I boxed professionally for 18 years. I whooped a lot of people. And every now and then I would get whipped. But the maddest I've ever been was December 1986. I was suing the great promoter Don King. All of you have heard of Don King. He had promised me a world title fight, and he didn't give it. So I got another promoter. And he started suing me for breach of contract. So he called me, he gave me a fight with Jesse Ferguson in Bermuda. I beat Jesse Ferguson. He gave me a fight with David Bay in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I beat David Bay. And I was supposed to fight a guy by the name of Mitch Blood Green in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And the phone rang. December 1986, the phone rang. Bonecrusher, this is Donald King. And I pretend I didn't hear him. I said, who?
You want to hear it again?
He said, this is Don King. I said, hey, Don, how you doing, brother? He said, Bone, I want to settle this lawsuit with you. I'm going to give you that world title fight, and I'm going to give you some money, too. I said, well, Don, that's awesome. I said, Don, who is the fight with? When is it? And where is it going to be? He said, well, I got some bad news, Bone. I said, what's that, Don? He said, the fight is going to be against a guy that beat you last year, Tim Witherspoon. And my mind immediately went back decades, and I remember those whoopings I got from my teacher, my mama, my daddy, and the year before, Tim Witherspoon in Las Vegas, he beat me all across the ring from pillar to post. I said, Don, when is this fight, and where is it going to be? He said, Bone, the fight is going to be on HBO television. You got a chance to show the world who you are, Bone, on HBO. I said, Don, when is this fight, and where is it going to be? He said, Bone, the fight is going to be at Madison Square Garden, New York, and it's going to be next week.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I said, Don, Don, you mean to tell me you're going to give me a 7-day notice to fight a guy? And the last time I had plenty of time to train, get ready, and he beat me all across the ring from pillar to post? He said, yeah, take it or leave it. I said, well, Don, can you give me a minute to think about it? Yeah.
How long was that minute?
I said, well, Don, I'm probably not supposed to take this fight on a 7-day notice because the last time I fought with Witherspoon, I had plenty of time to train and get ready, and he beat me all across the ring. I said, but I think I'm going to take it because I was old when I started boxing, 28 years old when I had my first pro fight. And see, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you got to believe that you're in the right place at the right time. And God is going to bless you today.
Amen.
So I took that fight on a 7-day notice because 7 is God's perfect number. He created the world in 6 days, But on the 7th day, he rested. I said, you know what? Come here, sir. Come here.
Oh, no.
I says, if I hit Witherspoon right, I can put him to sleep. Stand right out here. I'm going to show you something. We go stand right over here. Over here.
Trying to get rocked.
You got to jump over the ropes like you're getting in the ring, man.
Yeah.
Right here.
Duck those ropes. Step into the ring. Step into the jaws of death.
I'm going to do an illustration. What's your name, sir? Joel. I met you earlier. Joel, stand right in front of me. I want you to face me.
You're a brave man.
Joel. Joel, what I focus on, Joel, and you heard me tell the story earlier, is that left ear, Joel. And my goal was to take that left ear and drive it into the right ear with this right hand. And I knew if it didn't get all the way over there, he'd be like Elvis Presley. He would be all shook up. Yes, sir.
And you just got punched in the hand.
And then I became the first guy to take Mike Tyson 12 rounds when Mike was 21, a fighter and not a biter.
Not a biter.
Now, I became, because I had gone to college at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, I became the first college graduate to become heavyweight champion of the world, the first heavyweight to win the title at Madison Square Garden. There's another one or two firsts, and I forget what they are, but first guy to take Mike Tyson. But anyway, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You got a question?
Oh, yeah. One, like, so you started boxing at 28.
28.
Before that, what did you do?
I grew up on a farm. I'm from a small town in Duplin County, North Carolina, Magnolia, Duplin County, and they got a big wine company down there called Duplin Winery.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys probably heard of it.
Yes, sir.
But I'm getting hoarse.
Grab some water. Hey, Buddha.
We got some
Can you
water.
grab some
coming.
water for our guests? So you worked on a farm, and then you joined the military, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but on that farm, I used to lift hay bales and cotton and fertilizer and got some strong muscles.
You hate.
Thank you.
Nothing stronger than country strong.
Thank you.
But so you worked on the farm, and then you left the farm. And was it the Army?
Champ.
Did you join the Army?
I joined the Army.
Did you box in the Army at all?
I boxed in the Army.
Right, where were you at in the Army? Were you Fort Bragg or?
I was stationed at Fort Jackson, South Carolina,
Okay.
Fort Riley, Kansas, and Würzburg, Germany.
I love it.
Nice.
Germany's a beautiful place.
Yes, it
You a
is.
wine guy at all? You like to drink wine at all?
Yeah.
Germany's got some crazy wines.
Yeah.
That's
Me
where
being
I was
me
born,
being a
Eric.
big
Did you know
wine
that?
guy. You were born in Germany?
Yeah, I was born in Munich.
Puhak's not a German name though,
No.
but Chef is. Chef is a German name, right? German for chef.
My dad was in the Air Force. That's,
Was it really?
Yeah, that's why.
That's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong with you.
There we go.
There it is. Joe, what's the dish going on over there? What's the cooking going
right
on?
now what I'm doing is I'm making a roux. The roux is the basis for a lot of French cooking. It's a thickener, and basically what it is equal parts flour, equal parts fat. In this case, what I'm doing is rendering down some bacon with some butter. And the reason that I'm doing the bacon is because when Creole or Cajun cuisine cook, they tend to use animal fats when they make their roux. So on camera right now, if you're watching this podcast, if you're not, I've got a pot off to the side. It's a deep skillet or a French pan, and I'm making the roux, and I'm getting ready to add in some of Deep River's Cottontown Lager. It's quite delicious.
It's one of my favorites.
I'm going to thicken it up with some crab juices from the
that good for
pasteurized
sore
canned
throat?
crab. Possibly, sir. I got
Maybe
5
I should
more.
try
Right?
that.
Here, I haven't used this one.
No, give me a cup. You give me a cup.
You need a cup. All right, all
Can we
right.
get a Cottontown Lager on draft? Can we get a Cottontown Lager on draft for the champ?
So I'm going to start working on thickening this, Eric.
You gonna work on that? I'm gonna ask the champ a couple more questions. Mr. Bonecrusher, when you were fighting Weatherspoon in that first round, did you think it was going to go that way? Did you think you were going to knock him out that first round? You think you were?
I was mad.
You were mad, and your decision was to knock him out in the first round.
My decision was to take him out early, before somebody got hurt, and I wanted to make sure that somebody wasn't me.
Was that when you took those shots? Was it a body shot that shook him up, or was it a left? Was it a right? Do you remember?
I took the left ear and I drove it into the right ear.
And that was all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
When you're in the ring and you fought a lot of people, and I assume you've knocked a lot of people out. Actually, you've knocked 32 people out.
Good gracious. On record, right?
On record. 32 people on record. When you make that solid contact, is it like when you hit a home run where you can feel it in the bat? Do you feel that in your face? Like you know when that swing happens that dude's going down? Or no? Huh?
You want to see?
No. No, the last thing I want to do tonight is get rocked. I like my left ear where it belongs. Don't need it pushed into my right ear at all. But do you feel it like when you know that's a knockout punch?
Ribs.
Yeah, ribs? Is that your go-to?
Under the heart.
Yeah. Right under the heart.
Yeah. Temple.
The temple? I don't want to get hit. One, I think that your fist is the exact same size as my head. What fight are you watching these days? You got anything that you watch? You watched the Mike Tyson fight, and I guess that has sprung some more celebrity-style matchups. Are you into that at all, or do you think that's just fun and games? Do you think it's good because of COVID? What's your take on all the new celebrities that are trying to get in the ring?
Well, there's some things that young people do well, and there's some things that old people do well. And one of the things that old people do well is to sit down and rest and go to sleep. Leave boxing to young people. We all were young at some point, and we were all young at some point. So I would say, even though they doing great things, I would say we had our time, and life is about seasons of life.
Sure.
And we go through different seasons of our life, and there are certain things we should do in those seasons. And when when the season passed, then we should celebrate the season that we're in.
Sure. Another question for you, Mr. Bonecrusher. When you're younger, right, you have that warrior mindset, right? You're going into the ring, you're going to take people's heads off. When you boxed for, 18 years professionally?
18 years.
18 years professionally. Was it hard to turn that off, that monster mindset, that warrior mindset, that when, you know what I mean? Was it hard to turn that off?
Have you ever heard of Father Time?
I have.
And Mother Nature?
Yes, sir.
Well, you can't fool Father Time or Mother Nature.
Champ, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So I did a lot of research on this because I'm a boxing fan and I'm a fan of you. And something that sets you apart from a lot of these monsters that you went up against is you did not party. You did not get down like they did. You focused on the game. How did you do that? And what was your philosophy on doing such a thing? Because I saw one interview where you said that you wanted to stay sharp, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I knew I was old, and I knew I didn't have a lot of time to waste, and I didn't go out and I didn't drink or party, and I still go to bed early. Normally, if I was at home, I'd be in the bed now.
Well, we appreciate you going the distance with us tonight.
And
we appreciate it.
But about 6 o'clock in the morning, still, I'd be up. I'd be up and moving around and fixing my fiance breakfast. And
you do a lot of cooking? Do you do a lot of cooking?
I do some cooking.
You do some cooking?
I normally cook breakfast because I get up early, and I want to spoil my baby. Say hello, Doreen. Hey.
What's your favorite? What's a breakfast look like for the champ these days?
Bacon and eggs and toast and orange juice and coffee.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
What's your favorite? And now you got my attention. We're talking about food, right?
Talking about cooking.
That's right.
Okay.
What's your favorite cuisine? What type of food do you get down with?
Well, I love salad. I love salmon. I had some salmon too this morning.
Okay.
And I love seafood.
Yeah, we're going to have some seafood tonight.
Yeah. Well, I might have to join you then.
That's right. I forgot my EpiPen, though, Eric.
Oh, so Chef Puhak is actually allergic to seafood, but he eats it anyway for the sake of the show. So
I always tell my wife, you know, I'm like, look, if I'm like, let's go out to a seafood buffet, she needs to get me committed because it's going to be my glorious way of going out.
So Buddha's job, Buddha's our producer, or production manager. Noel's our producer, but Buddha's always got the EpiPen on hand, so we're not ever worried about it. We do have a couple of sponsors that pay for this delightful show. We're really excited about our sponsors. Our first one being Deep River Brewing Company, making just delicious beer. If you haven't been down to Deep River Brewery, you've got to get down there. Second on the list, tonight we got Matthew Motors, the walking man's friend. It's a car dealership. They have three car dealerships here in North Carolina, Wilmington, Clayton being the second, and I think the other one's in Goldsboro. But anyway, their sponsorship for the night,
Let's talk about this, man.
they wanted to pass that on to you, sir. They wanted you to have a check. They wanted you to have a check for the championforkids.org. Whatever it goes to help you out with the mobile museum. But they wanted you to have this check, sir, for $500.
$500.
That's right, guys.
Hey.
And so we really appreciate Matthew Motors. Our third and final sponsor tonight is Instill Distilling Company. That is a distillery that is attached to Deep River Brewery on the other side, makers of the finest rums in North America. And so those are who keep this show on the air. If you want to donate to Mr. Bonecrusher and all the exciting things that he has going on in this world, please visit championforkids.org. That's championsforkids.org. You can hit the donate button. It goes through PayPal, so make sure you guys hit that up. For right now, though, we're going to get into this tailgating. I know we've got a big game coming up, Kansas City versus New Orleans. That's going to be a tough game for Kansas City, but I think Kansas City still takes the cup. Do you watch football at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you one for Kansas City?
Kansas City.
Are they on fire right now?
I love that quarterback.
Right, Mahomie. Oh, man. You know what, though? Obviously, he hates Vegas. He plays with the numbers. You think he's going to show up and blow them out tomorrow, or you think he's going to keep it tight?
So you can't count those guys out because they can get way behind.
Yeah.
And he can bring them back.
He can, and he's done it several times. Like, he doesn't even care. He's
he don't
unfazed.
care. And he's nothing bothers him. No matter what kind of situation they're in, he's always got a level head about it.
Right? You never know which punch is going to be that knockout punch. You just got to keep swinging. And he's got that. And he's got that mindset. And you have that mindset. You've had a lot of fights that went the distance. And you stood in the ring with a lot of guys for a very long time.
What pushed you through when you got to that point?
When you got to that breaking point, when you got to that point where you were so tired,
that's what I want to know.
So exhausted, what was the switch that turned it on to keep going those final rounds?
Did I tell you all what happened to me when I went to London, England? Would you like to hear it?
I want to hear what happened in England.
Well, it kind of ties into what my friend here was asking me and what drove me through. Well, I was fighting a guy by the name of Frank Bruno in London, and he was undefeated. He had knocked out everybody he fought. He was 21-0 with 21 knockouts. And when I got to Heathrow Airport in 1984, there was probably 50 camera people there, news people. And I said, where is Frank Bruno? He wasn't there. I said, where is Frank Bruno? I'm going to knock him out. And one of them said, oh, James, how do you feel you're going to knock Frank out? Because he had knocked out everybody that has come over here, 21-0 with 21 knockouts. I said, you ever heard of a guy by the name of LL Cool J? Mama said, knock you out. And here comes the fight. And every day, I was over there for a couple of weeks, and every night at news, they show him knocking somebody out. Boom, they fall down. Boom, they fall down. And I said, okay, you ever heard of Marv Albert and Ferdy Pacheco? They work for NBC.
Okay.
And we had to fight, and they probably were 10,000 people at the fight, late at night, 12 midnight at night, so they could show it live on NBC back in America. And Bruno wearing me out every round, wearing me out. And between the 9th and the 10th round, In my corner, I could hear Marv Albert say, James Bonecrusher Smith gotta know that the only way he can win this fight is by knockout. And I took it to heart. I got mad. And I knew Frank was coming to really take me out. So he did. I hit him with that left hook. He falls back in the ropes. And I kept throwing punches until he fell down. And I fell on top of him so he couldn't get up. They counted him out. And the next fight, I'm in Las Vegas fighting Larry Holmes for the title.
Yeah. And it's amazing that you can go 9 rounds and then, you're down 9 rounds. You're probably down in points at that point. So you can hear those people, what they're saying.
In the corner, because I was pretty much in that corner where they were.
That's amazing that you can hear that. Did you hear everything, or is it just selectively that you heard things?
I can't hear everything, but I heard him say that.
Yeah, and then it flips that switch, and I watched that fight this week. I watched the whole fight this week on the interwebs, and I mean, really, in that 10th round, you unleashed just a massive barrage. Like, you could see that it turned on, that you were pissed, that you were angry, and you were giving it to him. I mean, you teed off on that man.
Yeah, and I think what happened to me is God moves through my spirit, and those type situations created a situation where I could be here tonight. Hadn't it been for that, and winning the title and fighting Mike Tyson, I probably would not be here tonight.
To tell that story.
Part of your story is part of your witness.
So this is a word for you all. What you do on a daily basis affects your outcome, but affects your life. The decision you make today affects where you're going to end up. And we want you to end up in heaven with the Bonecrusher.
That's right. So, you know what's killing me, Bonecrusher, is I want your rundown on the Tyson fight. While we're waiting for this delicious food so I can feed you some good memories, I want to hear about this Tyson fight. I mean,
do you ever talk to Tyson? Do you ever still talk to him? I mean, are you guys friends?
I talked to Mike about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, they had some fights down in Fort Lauderdale at one of the casino down there. I think it's the Hard Rock Casino in Fort Lauderdale. And all the living heavyweight champions was there except George Foreman, I don't think, Lennox Lewis, Buster Douglas. It was 3 of them that wasn't there, all the other living heavyweight champions. And Mike sitting next to me. He sit on one side of me, and Evander Holyfield sit on the other side of me. And he was very cordial. Because I think he thought that I was going to hit him again.
Because you shook him up in that last round.
I should have
knocked him down, man.
I should have knocked him out.
There was one interview that I saw where you said that you realized that you were the height difference, and had you countered that earlier, it might have made.
I was 6'4", and he was 5'10".
Right.
Was there a mental? Were you mentally shooken for that fight, or do you think that you were mentally ready for that fight? Was there anything that had you worried about Mike Tyson? Had there been rumors, or do you just kind of blow all that off? I mean, I always think going into a fight, seeing some of these guys and I guess you could call it their scare tactics.
Well, Mike, he come to the ring with no shirt on, no socks on, and he's twitching his head. This guy is crazy. I said, I'm going to have to fight this guy. He's crazy.
Even though you got in the ring with him and you went this just crazy long distance with him, one thing that I've noticed in all of your fights is at the end of the fight, you always smile. You were always smiling.
Right. You were smiling during the fights too, man. Often.
I would say a prayer. Y'all need to hear this. Before the fights, I would say a prayer. Ladies and gentlemen.
What was that prayer?
I say, God, I want you to bless me and bless my opponent and let my opponent fight just hard enough to lose.
Just hard enough. Oh man.
Amen.
Do you catch up with a lot of boxers? Do you have any boxer friends that you guys still
Well, you know
still
what
hang
we're
out
doing.
with?
You know what we're doing with this RV and this mobile museum.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring the guys together.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring the fans together.
I think that's going to be
And
quite
we're gonna
the
bring
event.
the fighters together. And we're gonna travel all over North Carolina, all over South Carolina, and I think we're gonna get a diesel. And we're might travel all over the east, all over the country.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you all tonight have a chance to have your name in the Boxing Legends Hall of Fame. Now, some of you, probably most of you, probably don't have a chance other than being with Bonecrusher in that RV. You're not gonna knock anybody out. I don't think you're gonna knock anybody out. I meet with a bunch of NFL guys Saturday coming down to Myrtle Beach. And a lot of them got a bunch of money. And they said, we want to be part of your program. And they're gonna dump, and I want to say, Mr. Dale Thomas, right here, stand up, Dale, wave your hand.
What's going on, Dale?
What about Dale Thomas?
He lives in Raleigh, and we're in business together. We're also in a business called On Passive and Go Founders. And Dale has made tremendous contributions to his team. And if you get a chance, say a couple words to Dale. He can share with you what we're doing. Doreen is my business partner as well. But anyway, go back. I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, I think it's an amazing thing, traveling on this bus and educating. I mean, literally the fighting in the 90s, there was nothing, to me that was like the greatest era. The 80s and the 90s for me, because that's when I was born, I guess. But I mean, watching the fight was, I mean, the world stopped. You know, it didn't matter what state you were in, the world stopped for those HBO fights, right? It's not like now where you just get on pay-per-view or you can go down to the local bar. I mean, it was a big deal back then. And so, you know, being here with you and talking with you, it really is just one of those magical, you know, those magic moments. Do you think, right now, obviously your mindset hasn't changed as a fighter. You've been the same humble guy. Do you think it's interesting in looking over at Tyson and seeing how he's changed and how he's matured as a human being? Are you proud of him? Do you think that he's changed? Do you think he's found his way as you found your way? Do you feel like Tyson has found his way in life?
Yeah.
Just the humbleness that he now has.
And he really has been through a lot of things in life, and outside the ring and inside the ring, and I think it has humbled him. And but I think, you know, as long as he fight guys his age, he should be okay. But at some point, you have to give it up.
You've got to give it up, yeah. You know, I think he will. He's had his hand at acting and a couple other things here, but it is neat seeing that transformation.
Bonecrusher, I got a question for you. How do you feel, or what do you think about how MMA, mixed martial arts, has had an impact on the boxing game?
Wow.
That's a big question.
Do you watch it at all? Do you watch MMA at all?
Every now and then.
Okay.
I think it has made a humongous, a huge impact on boxing.
Absolutely.
And its entertainment. I mean, people love to watch it.
Yes, sir. It's almost like the two sports are competing now, you know, and you're starting to see fighters transcend from, like McGregor and Mayweather, for instance. They go, you know, back and forth, and I can beat you, and I can beat you. Come into my ring. No, come into my octagon. You know, that type of stuff.
Well, you know, I'd love for boxing really to go back to free TV, where, you know, you had NBC, ABC, CBS. It was free. People could watch boxing on Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and they wouldn't have to pay $50 or $100, whatever it is, and they could watch it. And I think that gave people a chance to really follow boxing, you know, the sport, and they, you know, if things are real tight, they might not want to buy the fight. You know what I mean? If they can watch it free, then more people will watch it. And I think not only that, I think we were characters. People followed us, and it was more to us than just boxing.
Right, yeah, and you had the pre-match shows.
Oh, yeah, and trash talk. There's still a lot of that goes on today, but
it wasn't like it was back in the old days.
I agree. I mean,
It wasn't
totally
the
different.
same. Who do you think was the most pre-game entertainer? Who do you think was the best pre-game entertainer?
Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad
Yes,
Ali.
sir.
Did
That's
you
what I
watch
was gonna
Muhammad Ali
say.
a lot? Or did
We
you
were
watch
friends.
It?
We
You
were friends, and we had a chance to spend some time with. We did a party that Pete Rivera hosted. We got together a few weeks ago in Raleigh, and we watched the Tyson fight. And Miss Muhammad Ali, one of his wives, the second wife, I think, Kalia, was in Raleigh. She was there, and matter of fact, she called us tonight, and she wanted
Did she
a
really?
poster of while we were at the restaurant. And
Fantastic.
she wanted a poster of me and Mike Tyson. She said, Bonecrusher, where's my picture of me and you and Mike Tyson? So I'm going to send her a picture. 2 pictures.
Pete is from Revel Nation.
Where is Pete?
I haven't seen Pete in a minute, but Pete is one of the reasons why we have you on here tonight. We like, we love Revel Nation,
There he is.
and we like working with Revel Nation. We like working with a guy like Pete,
Absolutely.
and we're thankful that
these-
he was
these
able
big
to
opportunities coming
to
up.
get you on here. Was before we get down to the food, because I see that Chef
So
Pujols.
did you guys? Let's stop. Did you know in order to make these work properly, you have to go like this?
3 times?
Three
at
times,
least,
3 to
at
5
least.
times.
3 to
And then
5
if
times. Yeah.
My wife is nearby. I grab her ass. One time. She doesn't.
My
like it.
wife would probably turn my ear from the left side to the right side, just
Well,
like
she
a
does
Bonecrusher
do
if I did
that. She gives me that fiery Latina fury,
Can
but
I say something else?
I won't stop.
Yes, go
Can I
ahead. You
say
can say
something
anything you
else?
want.
Now, I do have a couple items up here, and I'm running out because we did a lot of signing at the restaurant, other restaurant. But if anybody want a picture of me and Mike, or we have a book that me
look at
and
that.
Mike is on it. It's a souvenir book. We have just a few extra pieces if you want it. There's a small fee attached to it, and I'll share it with you. You want to come up here and shake my hand, do a fist bump, and talk about it.
Get a chance to get punched by the
No.
champ himself, right in the
No.
hand, a punch right in the knuckles.
No.
let's open that up after
What
the
was
show
your
and get some
real
people up
quick
here and
before we
generate some
eat?
money.
Real quick before we eat, Mr. Bonecrusher, obviously the most probably well-known fight was your fight with Tyson. But what was your most memorable fight? We talked about Weatherspoon. We talked about the other guys. Is there a particular fight though that you take home with you still to this day that you remember that you don't think that it gets the glory that it deserves or anything like that?
Well, a lot of people want to know what was my toughest fight.
Yeah, what was your toughest fight?
My ex-wife.
Hey, I can relate.
And that's a lot more than 12 rounds, I would imagine. I'm probably still fighting that fight.
Maybe 12
was
rounds
there
with an
anybody else?
attorney.
The Tyson fight was hard, very difficult because he was so short. A lot of my shots just went over his head. And, I'm 6'4", he's 5'10", so he was very difficult to hit.
And also in '86, '86 was a big year for you. There was a lot going on in '86, but you broke Marvis Frazier's jaw in '86. Is that right? Is that real?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Did you know you broke his jaw during that fight, or no?
Are you sorry?
I hit him hard.
Are you sorry?
No.
You can't be sad. Joe, Chef Pujols.
All right, I'm gonna start plating up some food.
Plate up some food, man. Let's eat.
Yeah, let's get
this
it
is
going.
a tailgate.
We'll get me,
tailgate.
you, and the champ going, and then maybe Buddha can get in helper. and
Buddha just had
people can
Manning's
taste his cooking
restaurant. He
lesson
does
that we
not
gave
need
out.
anything else to eat
I
tonight.
don't need anything
Look at that
else to
guy.
eat, too. I was at the restaurant.
You were at the
I
restaurant.
got
What was
a big ribeye steak in the truck.
you had a lot of stuff
did.
at that restaurant. What was your favorite part?
All of it.
All of it. I mean, we had so much food there. It was unbelievable. It was at Manning's
By the
restaurant.
time I got to the main course,
God bless.
I couldn't eat the main
He
course.
just kept bringing us food, didn't he? I mean, it was, I think we started out
Sample this, sample that,
with
sample
liver,
this.
shrimp
Ooh.
and grits, steak-filled egg rolls. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Yes, yeah, the scallops were incredible. Well, any great tailgate. When you watch fights tonight, right? The fights are really late at night. Do you stay up and watch those fights? You catch them the next day.
Wow.
You stay up to watch the primetime
Sometimes,
fights or no?
You know what I stay up late to do? I watched a lot of football late. Sunday night football, Monday night football. I mean, I stay up and watch that.
Being that we're a tailgate show, what's your favorite tailgate food for football?
Wings.
You like them hot or what?
Mild.
Mild wings. What kind of sauce? We talking barbecue, buffalo sauce or
Buffalo.
Buffalo sauce is the only way. Let me ask you this, you do French fries with them or no?
Yes.
Curly fries or wrinkle fries?
Yes.
Or straight fries?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's looking at that food like there's no way. We don't expect you to eat all of this because we know that we fed you before this show. But being that we are a tailgate show, we are a foodie show. One of our favorite food pages on the interwebs is Drinking Bros Foodies. If you don't know, Drinking Bros is a very big community, and so they have sub-communities. Joe and I stay in the Drinking Bros sports community, but we also dabble a lot in the Drinking Bros foodie.
I'd like to give them a shout out, man. As
I love
a
those
classically
guys.
trained chef, there are some people that are just everyday people like you all, and the food
And
that
me.
they produce on there. I mean, there was a lady making roasted bone marrow and homemade baguette for her children. And I'm like, wow, I'll go to a restaurant and spend $50, $60 for that. And she's like, yeah, it's just a Tuesday night snack. I'm like, what? So the culture and I encourage you guys to join Drinking Bros Foodies. So
All right, Joe,
we got
what
the
are we
Champs food. I'm going to plate your food up, and we're going to talk about it.
What are we eating today? By the way, our motto here for Tailgate Sports Legend Show is that just because it's simple, it doesn't mean it has to suck. And so when you're tailgating, we take simple tailgate foods and we make them not suck. So we always go a little bit extra. If you've caught any of our episodes, I think for about 2 weeks ago now, we did one with Willie Parker from the
man.
Steelers,
Fast Willie.
and you brought out Wagyu beef. For a burger. By the way, Wagyu beef's about $240 a pound. So that was a little bit definitely not simple, but it was probably the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. Or sub, as Chef Puhak has it. Let me get this. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for grabbing this out of my hands.
I'm done.
All right, Chef Puhak, walk us through it, homie.
All right, so the whole philosophy of everything that we do here is, we're tailgaters, right? And the issue that I have with everyday common cooks is, that's fancy. Of course it sounds nice. I've got these beef bangers, the Bonecrusher beef bangers, but really, guys, they're cheese stuffed meatballs, right? There's great seasonings in there. We'll have the recipes up on our social media sites. And then I made a crab cheese dip. And each of these recipes have 10 or less ingredients in it. And we're hanging out with one of the legends of modern day, and I made it in, 20 minutes, right? I got to have a couple beers, I got to talk to a friend and a legend. So if I can accomplish that, you guys with your full mind can totally do that. Right now we've got the Cajun Crab Dip up with some lump crab meat and some Cajun flavors.
Crab is intense.
Is it?
Is that faux crab or is that real crab?
That's real crab, man.
That is real crab.
Yeah.
Where did you get the real crab, Joe?
I got it from a local market. It's sourced somewhere in Maryland. I don't want to give the can a thump without sponsorship, so. But it's locally sourced, but it's out of Maryland, and it's lump crab, pasteurized lump crab meat.
Pasteurized lump crab, because that's the first thing I tasted when I put the chip in my mouth was, that beautiful. You can tell faux crab. I like faux crab. I use it in a lot of things, but man, you can really taste the crab.
Yeah. So that
you got to have that lump.
it is.
You got to have the lump.
We
the back
I
fin.
need to make Noel a plate.
No,
you
it's
don't have
good.
a plate? My gosh.
Keep going.
So, you take the time to put quality ingredients in your food. And the mantra of our podcast is, it's a tailgate, right? And everybody's like, I'll make some hot dogs, some grilled cheese, some wings. Yeah, that's great, but take a couple extra steps and you're going to make some memories. They'll be, oh my gosh, did you go to Bob's tailgate? Did you go to Eric's tailgate? Did you go to Bonecrusher's tailgate? They did some crazy stuff. And it's easy, right?
Yeah, it's always simple, and it's mostly has to do with the prep, right? So, when we're thinking about tailgating, one of our favorite things to do is we think about things that we can do that we prep the night before,
right?
That we only have to throw out on the skillet or on the grill for only a few minutes. A lot of people get hung up on the grilling and the cooking. That takes away from the cornhole. It takes away from the beer pong. So if you prep the night before, you pre-cook the night before, and all you're doing is warming up, it gives you time to drink the beer, gives you time to play all those little games that we like to play.
Socialize, fellowship with your friends.
Socialize and play. Bonecrusher, what do you think about this tailgating cuisine?
I've almost finished eating mine.
Let me ask you this. Has anybody ever named a dish after you?
No, but I like it.
Here we go. We're going to post it on our website and keep the legend alive,
Yeah.
And we'll tag you in it.
Yeah, we'll
Are
definitely
you on
tag
social
in it.
media? You do a lot of social media? Some. Bear a little bit. Man, I'll tell you what, Chef Buak,
So
outdone yourself again.
the two sauces are what kind of light the meatballs on fire. We've got the lemon aioli. And aioli is a fancy way of saying flavored mayonnaise. I mean, it has lemon, roasted garlic in it. And I added some smoked paprika to pay tribute to the Candace ingredients because they like to do a lot of smoking down there, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, I took some Deep River chocolate stout and reduced it down. And man, that barbecue sauce
I'm drinking
reduced
the
down.
Deep River stout right now.
Are you?
And it pairs fantastically with the meatball.
Hey,
to be
let's
honest
get
with you.
nerdy, man. What would you pair with this food? What kind of,
you know,
what kind of
to be honest with you, with the
certified
chips-
specialist of wine, Eric Tansey?
With the chips and the crab dip, I would definitely do the Cottontown Lager. It's simple. I'd even maybe go with the Limetown Lager just because lime and seafood, it works together. It always does.
Right.
It always has. It always will. With the meatball, though, a nice hearty stout. Being that it's a cold winter time of the month, winter time of the season, the cold winter season here, dark beer is where it's at. I don't know how cold the Kansas City-New Orleans game is going to be. But if you're doing the meatball, I would say that the stout is the way to go. If you're a New Orleans guy and you're doing the crab dip, then the Limetown Lager, the Cottontown Lager, the light lager is definitely the way to go on that. My humble opinion. Or rum from Instill Distilling Company anytime of the
I knew that was
which is
coming.
good all the time. Which is good all the time.
I agree.
Chef Puak, what's your setup over there? Did you got a grill tonight or you got a griddle? What are you working with?
So my objective every time that we cook and do this is I want to do it just like we're at a tailgate. I brought a 2-burner propane setup like you would do on camping or, in this case, tailgating. I brought a couple of one good cast iron skillet, French pan made out of stainless steel, and heat source, man. And
that's the way we love to go. I mean, you could bring out the big grill. Obviously,
and
that's more
simple,
stuff
man.
to pack in the car. We like to keep it simple because cleanup's quick and easy.
Well, just like we always say, Eric, just because it's simple doesn't mean it has to what?
Doesn't have to suck.
Right.
Suck. Bonecrusher, I got one more question for you. I'll let you take that last bite, though. I'm not going to stop that from happening, mainly because I don't want to get eaten myself. But we do a Drinking Bro of the Week. And a Drinking Bro of the Week is just a human being that is a star in your own eyes, that motivates you, that keeps you moving through the week. And we allow our guests to choose who they want to nominate as Drinking Bro of the Week.
Anywhere in your life, so
Anywhere.
it doesn't have to be sports.
They
it
just
can
have to be living.
personal.
They just have to be living. That's the only rule. Who would you nominate to be the Drinking Bro of the Week?
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Big Mike.
That is a bold move. Can you tell us why? Why would you choose Mike Tyson?
He's crazy.
He's crazy. He's crazy. He really is crazy. His pre-fight interview, this last fight,
Man. let's
gosh,
talk
that
about
was intense.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you watched it or not, but there was one interview where he was saying, he was talking about how humble he's become, and he says, he says that's the reason I'm crying right now. Is what does he say?
He was crying, and he said, I used to be a bad man, and I'm crying right now because I miss that bad man.
I was like,
And I
was like,
stopped
oh
doing what
my
I was doing. I was
gosh.
like, my gosh, man.
Do you
Thank
think that
God he
show-
was humbled.
do you think that's show, or do you think he really means it?
Miss being a bad man.
Yeah. Did you see that interview?
Oh, it's amazing.
He's crazy.
It shook me. Listen, if there was a fighter that you could fight today, like if you could go back, rewind yourself to the 80s, and you could choose any of today's fighters to fight, is there a certain fighter that you would have liked to get in the ring with back in the 80s that is fighting now?
Mike Tyson.
You'd like to take Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Would you go Mike if you had another chance at Mike Tyson
For 20 million.
for 20 million?
Here we go. Let's line it up.
For 20 million, I'll do anything.
Yeah, I'll
When I
let
say
Mike-
anything, I really mean anything. Like
Mike can
literally,
knock me out
you
for 20
can't
million.
name anything that I wouldn't do for $20 million. I'm not even going to say within reason on that.
Yeah.
Normally, I say within reason. I'm not even going to say that. I would literally
No.
do anything for $20 million. You want somebody dead? I'll do it. 20 million? Game over. I'm kidding. Obviously, I would not do that.
We should.
Can I leave now?
Yes, you can leave now. It's way past your bedtime, sir. Way past your bedtime. Listen, I had a wonderful,
Yeah, so did I, sir.
wonderful afternoon with you. It is a
It's a
pleasure.
blessing to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we'll have had you right. You know, we'll wrap this show up because you know what?
That's right.
There's a lot of beer to be drank. There's a lot of food to be eaten.
Eating proper grammar,
Listen,
Eric.
follow it. Hammer that like button. Hammer that like button down on the
Subscribe, drop
YouTube.
us some stars.
Subscribe to the podcast and give us a 5-star rating. It goes a long way, folks. It keeps this show going, keeps the sponsors happy. Yeah, leave that there. Of course, leave that there. We would never make the champ clean up. No way.
sir.
Not
No,
in,
sir.
not in this universe. Not happening. Hit the like button. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, social media. Oh, you want to do a picture? What?
The picture I signed for you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, are you gonna sign a picture for me?
I already signed it. I signed it when we were over there. And you said, don't give it to me now. Give it to me later.
Thank you so much. It really means
Thank you,
the
Bonecrusher.
absolute world to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That one picture that I signed.
I'm trying to wait. Can you wait? Will you? Oh, never mind. Yeah. Will you do one thing? Will you sign our show notes? We have every guest sign our show notes.
Yes.
For a collection. Here, I got the pin right here. I got a pin right here. But every guest signs the show notes.
Did I bring my my mask over here?
Yeah.
I thought I did.
You
You got it over
Oh,
there?
it's right here on the floor. I'll grab it. But here you go. Here's a pen if you want to sign our show notes. Boy, that Deep River
Thank
beer's
you,
really
champ.
kicking in.
Thank you,
It's
champ.
down there.
Oh man, we really appreciate it. We appreciate the time. Hey guys, this is Drinking Bros Sports Tailgate Legend Show.
Right, man. Let's make some people hungry.
Next week we've got another show. We've got a big star lineup for next week's show. It's going to be intense. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Gotta stay
Join
tuned
us
to see it, though.
every Friday at 8 p.m. Until next time, folks. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.